If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers.
Hello, everyone. It is Leah Love, and it is my birthday, 11/11. The year is 2020. So, shout out to all the Scorpios born on this fabulous day. Today, I want to get into why the Democratic Party needs weak, effeminate black men to survive.
It's
All right, so while he collects his thoughts, I want to share with you that we all know that within the Democratic Party, the black women are most active and most likely to vote. And knowing the American history that we know, it has been a series of decades of the black man being effeminated and being set aside while the black woman has been the head of the household in many cases. And we all know about the introduction of the welfare state, wherein they were only allowed these benefits should they not have black men in the home.
well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim,
You know what I would be crying about is the fact that you have your own sons watching you in a position of power on mainstream media, being an agent of the state. Having your sons watch you completely defile your character, act like a true sellout, not the liberal version of sellout, but the true sellout, to sell your soul, to come on every day on this fake emotionalism. You know you're lying. You know that Biden wasn't a good candidate. You know that he's mentally deteriorated. You know that he's been a crook for years. And you would promote him and promote lies about Trump because you know, as a prime time, social media and media uh, character, whatever you want to call yourself, activist, that you have access to the full videos and you participate in mainstream media's clipping full, speeches and then promoting one thing, which is racism and white supremacy. How dare you, as a grown black man with black sons, promote these lies, which you know are lies, which you know is propaganda. You've watched the video editing staff clip things, and you have received your emails from the state gurus to tell all of you people on every network what to say, and you all repeat the exact same buzzwords. And you have led millions of Americans astray, millions of vulnerable Americans who have already been primed to fall into this abyss of racism and white supremacy. You are keeping an entire mass of black people in fear, which is all state promoted. And you have the nerve to sit up here and cry like a little wuss on mainstream media, talking about character, being a good person. And you a grown ass man. Are you kidding?
back for no reason. This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know,
One of the things that I am so grateful to have learned about in the year 2020 is that everything that the liberal individuals blame or claim about the conservatives is deflection. It's actually what they themselves are doing. We have multiple examples of the claims of racism and sexism and, cruelty and cult-like behavior, fascism, so many things, so many, insults that they throw at conservatives is actually what they are. Here we have an example of a true quote unquote coon, acting out, shucking and jiving for the white people. They constantly ask conservatives, who's paying you to do this? Here we have a man well paid before the public behaving in this manner, misleading the people. But they constantly want to ask black conservatives, who's paying you to say this? You got black people right here on mainstream news getting paid to push and shovel this nonsense into the black community. Everything you say that we are doing or that we are being is in fact you. It's an indictment on your own self. This is horrendous and it's a damn shame.
I can't breathe. That wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe.
Well, I literally will not bore you or anger you with any more footage of this man. But at the end of the day, he's lying. Black people themselves know that they are lying. They are happy to have a stage with which to play out all of their intergenerational uh, trauma that has been handed down generations upon generations. But I am here to tell you that in 2020, Black people can breathe. They can breathe enough to go to work every day. They can breathe enough to create baby mama, baby daddy drama. They can breathe enough to be on Instagram all day on World Star Hip Hop. They can breathe enough to get their twerk on, to get their WAP on, to defend Cardi and all of these whack so-called representatives of the black community. They can breathe all day long to commit black on black crime. They can breathe all day long to get their hair done and nails and stay fly. They can breathe all day long going and shopping at Walmart. Uh, the only reason why they may attract certain things into their lives is because of their mindset. The deculturalization of the quote unquote black community, which I continue to say is not a monolith, but there is an unfortunate incident of a certain portion of the black community being pushed above everyone else as the black community. And it's just false. This is a segment or a subsect of the totality of the black community, which is what we call underclass slash ghetto behavior, ghetto mentality, where there is no accountability, where there is no ideology that what you sow, you will reap. And because the whole system is in place to, massage this into the mindset of people who know that they can breathe on a regular basis, and particularly when it is not an election year. And if this countless many black men who are claiming to be hunted in the streets have time to pursue and chase women of other races and impregnate women of other races, not marry them, create a whole bunch of more fatherless babies, they definitely can breathe to commit those acts. And if another segment of the black community who still buys into this, though they are quote unquote middle class, who are, educated with college degrees and whatnot, if this level of black men are choosing to marry, and they choose to marry white women or Latino or Asian or what have you, but they want to claim racism in this country, they are lying. Now, if it's love, it's love. I could care less. And I certainly herald the expanding numbers of black women who are also intermarrying because they consider themselves a free person. Kudos to them. But at the end of the day, somewhat and somehow this is being focused on black males and their inability to breathe. But they interact day in and day out with the ability to breathe, except for a few exceptions. And one does not stand without the whole. What one does, and what two does, and what five does, and what 10 does, and you grow that exponentially, yes, that will bear fruit on the others who look like you with certain characteristics. And so, if there is a small segment of a population who is committing 50 to 60% of all violent crimes in the country, and you look like them, yes, you might be pulled over more, you might be profiled more, but at the end of the day, rather than spending time pretending that you cannot breathe and begging for white people's attention and their pity and, pushing white guilt. Go back and deal with this smaller percentage who is ruining it for everyone. If you dealt with your smaller percentage and had the courage to go into your communities and create, stop asking white people and everybody else or rich black people or whatever. You can go and talk just like King Face did. You can go and talk to people, change minds, change behaviors, give them hope, get them out of this fake narrative and mindset that the black man can't succeed in 2020. If half of you guys were doing that, maybe you would be profiled less because there would be less crimes committed. It's not apples and oranges. It's not difficult arithmetic. It's just real. If you're committing less crime, that will affect the entirety of your subsegment. There will be less profiling. Why not spend time on that rather than allowing your women to run out in all these marches and carry on and allow Antifa to speak for you? And then allow these news stations to film your kids that you haven't seen in years, or your nephew or niece or whatever out here looting in the streets, making you look more animalistic than they already see you as. Your liberal friends already see you as poor animals in the National Geographic that they have to come and help, the endangered species. This is what they're doing to you all. And you're allowing it. And whereas you could be really and truly working on something of substance rather than having these rich black males on TV crying and carrying on like a wuss. I mean, it's incredible, and it's truly facetious, and more people are not buying it. More and more people are going to wake up out of their black guilt, those who have made it and want, feel bad, and those who have relieved themselves of the slave mentality, as well as the white folks who feel bad and who allowed themselves to sink into white guilt. Eventually, the liberal game is going to be up, and you will have sullied and ruined your lives and ruined the lives of your children by instilling a mindset of hopelessness in them, all because of ego, all because it felt good to finally be petted. You couldn't make it as a basketball star. You couldn't make it as football. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. Resorted to crime or some other thing. And, you want everybody to cry for you. You have to be a conqueror and not a conquered person. And I say that for all black people who are buying into this liberal, not just black men. I have plenty to say about, what black women have been allowing to happen and the way in which they have been allowing themselves to be the spokeswoman for all manner of liberal nonsense, which is only digging black women further in the hole. The numbers of abortion should tell you that. This is Leah Love, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching my content. I really appreciate your coming back for more. If you would please subscribe and click that notification bell, you'll definitely be able to see the upcoming videos, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Thank you.